In this video, I'm going to walk through the steps on how I would create a barrel. And I want to emphasize that it's how I would do it, that it's not the only way, it's not the right way to do it, that it's a million different ways that you could probably create a barrel. Maybe not that much, but noting that you will probably think of a way the more that you mess with Blender, the more you do it. Like any other art form, you'll find one way that makes, the most sense to you and how you see the world, and that's what's going to make it beautiful and unique. But that being said, let's walk you through how I would go about doing it to kind of get you familiar with some of these tools. So I'm going to go to add, I'll go to mesh, and then I'll go to cylinder. And then I'm just going to do like 18 sides on it because that's kind of roughly, I think that's enough to kind of showcase the little planks. You could do more or less. More might make it a little bit less cartoony. But for this tutorial, I think it worked fine. So that looks about tall enough. And then I'm going to go to edit mode. And then I'm going to do some hotkeys. I will do Control R, and that's going to give me some edge loops. Now, if I slide up on the mouse wheel, it's going to give me more. And that looks like a decent amount for just to get our basic shape. And then I'm going to hold down Alt and click on the center edge loop just to select it. Now I'm going to use my proportional editing tool. And then now when I scale it by pressing S, it'll scale it up to get a nice just smooth barrel shape. And again, I'm using the mouse wheel on my proportional editing tool to adjust like how much it's affecting my other loops. And that looks pretty decent. So now let's add some of these bands that kind of go around the top and the bottom of a barrel that holds all these planks together. Again, I'm gonna alt click, and it really depends on where you click. Like if I click too close, it might do more on the vertical. So keep in mind too where you're alt clicking. And then I'm going to click, I guess it doesn't matter for this, so I'm just going to do another edge loop. So I'm going to do Control R, and that looks pretty decent. I'll do another one down here, Control R, that looks decent too. And I'm going to switch over to my face mode and Alt click, and then Alt Shift click to select both of these bands. And then I'm going to go to my transfer pivot point. I don't want it from the bounding box center because that's going to do it from this center point here. And what I want to actually select from is from individual origins. Oh, let's extrude it by pressing E, and then we will scale that out with S and kind of make these bands a little bit sticking out. And then let's just go ahead and make the Z one. We could even shrink it down a little bit, kind of cause a little bit of bevel to it. And that might be a little extreme, but that'll work for this video. So now I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to extrude this top. I could probably inset it as well, but it's quicker just to press the E and then S for scale. And then I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and then E again and drag that down. So let's go ahead and make these planks stick out. And you can either, extrude out these faces if you wanted to as a group, or you can kind of create some bevels on these lines. So again, there's a couple ways you can go about it. Whatever makes the most sense to you. I can go around and select all of these lines if I wanted to, by just shift selecting it. I want to do this whole line here. I'll hold down Control and select that. And then instead of having to do that for all of these, I can simply go to select similar, and depending on what I'm trying to select, what they're actually similar to, this I'm going to do face angles. And then I can go around and it'll actually select all of these for me. So then I'm going to go to bevel. And I don't need a whole lot. So that looks decent. And then I'm going to add another segment in there as well. So now I have this great line. And then another select trick, which is pretty neat. If I go to select more or less, and I go to less, it'll select this line all the way down. And then now I just need to go ahead and deselect these interior pieces. So now that they're all selected, and not the bands, because I don't want those to be indented, I just want to separate the boards. This time I'm going to go back to bounding box center. I'm going to press S for scale and scale them all in. And that's essentially how I would go around making a barrel. Now let's do ahead and shade it auto smooth. Oh, let me select it first.